Welcome to Panathafan International. The Aussie contingent's back after a few weeks with the international break, and a great result as well this morning, joined by Panathafan and by Nick. Welcome, boys.
Good to
How?
be back. Been a
Evening,
while.
Stooge.
Yeah, it's like we said, like we expected, we're gonna have some really tired nights, and none not too different from what was said. So, how are you, boys?
Good. As you said, sleepless nights are plenty from now on, and we are now in the middle of a roller coaster. It's like literally up, down, up, down. Even when we don't play, every day now is a roller coaster. It's going to be like this until the cup final. Thank God now we've had a couple of highs recently with a couple of very, very positive performances and wins. Different wins as well. I know the Americans spoke about. We won't spend time on the Ike one, but different win that we're going to talk about the Aris one.
And isn't it funny how after the Bulk game, the championship run was over,
I thought we were done.
we were all
I, I,
done.
I thought it was finished.
Tearing as a coach, was it a bad move? In just 2 games later, yeah, not quite the same.
It was terminal after the bulk game and terminal about 5 minutes into the Ike game, and then
That was even worse.
it just switched around.
I agree, but
I thought we were gone.
The yeah, the sentiments all changed within the supporter base and the optimism.
and it's good, right? It's good that we've actually had those 2 wins, and obviously we come off fresh off the RD game, and there's a lot to talk about. It's still there's some not so positive aspects to the way we're playing and some of the risks we're running, but there's certainly more hope than what there was.
Call me crazy. I don't care about how we play now. September, October, November, it's different. You want to see positives. You got to build. We're at a stage now where it's who cares? We know that we've spoken about it in the past. There's going to be changes next season. Let's live in the here and now. We haven't won a Panathafan for 14 years. Play shit and win. One chance, one goal. Clean sheet. Your brain on the clean sheet. One chance, one goal. Be clinical up front. Just play shit and get these 3 points now every time. Every game's a cup final and one game at a time.
Yeah,
You know, just add to that, play shit, but when we're up against it, change your strategy, adapt.
He did. He
yeah,
did this morning at halftime.
Exactly right. And that's where I take heart in that. And it's not meant to be an Ivan bashing scenario because he did contribute a lot during that time. But what we're seeing from Terry, he's got his weaknesses. He stuffed the game plan up against Bulk. But in this game against Adi, after the first half, you saw what the changes were, changed the formation, brought
Yeah.
Sport on. And really, that's what made the difference, wasn't
And he dropped that old back as well.
it? As part of that back three.
Yeah.
just to recap the game, so Panathinaikos played Aris away in Karilau. We came out 2-0 victors, courtesy of a Sporter. It was a beautiful goal in the 62nd minute. The goal came from a Bernard intercept, a sloppy pass. I can't remember if it was Brabec. It gave a sloppy pass. Bernard intercept. Passed it through ball to Sporter, who just from inside the box, brilliant finish. Really beautiful finish. And then in the 92nd minute, where Jedvay did a goal line clearance, really saved our ass. And then from that counter attack play, it was a good pass from Mladenovic, who found Juricic. Juricic's shot was saved. Did, pretty good to slide in and get to it. Right into the keeper. Keeper rebound save into Brabic. 92nd win, that secured the win. A bit of karma for Brabic, who there was rumors we were linked to him at the start of the season, talked a bit of smack. So a little bit of karma coming his way. Let's get now to the details of the game. What occurred, boys? I'll open the floor to you to start it off.
Who wants to go? Do you want to go first or me?
You can go for a Nick.
All right. So first half, very slow start from us, which you'd expect. Really, we had such a grueling. We had to come from behind win. We put our everything into it against Stake. What else did we expect? Even in the regular season, when it's always historically forget the regular. Or every time we go up there, it's always a hard game. We have to. It's blood, sweat, and tears just to get a result up there. We didn't in the regular season, and we're up against it in the first half. Aris definitely had the better of it. I'll talk a little bit about the ref, but I know it pissed off Sturge the most. So I'll do a little bit of ref bashing, but Sturge will do the majority of that. Then, as you said, the halftime came the big turning point with Terim. That's where he earns his money. He adjusted accordingly and he paid dividends. Also, the talking point of halftime was right when the whistle went, Sturge's background. Their coach is a fucking embarrassment. Munzios. Did you see what he said about Ioannidis? That he goes down too easy and he's a diver. Anything to provoke him. Did he not see the treatment Bakasetas, for instance, got? And we talk about these so-called elite referees. He goes to all these Balkan, like EPA go to these Balkan backlog countries. Like Greece is a mess. The Greek league. Those countries are worse. And they go and get so-called elite referees from there. If you get elite referees, go to Big Five leagues.
I don't think he's considered an elite referee.
They said from now on elite referees, did they not?
They did say that.
They did say that.
Who came up with bringing this guy to Greece? The guy had no idea what he was doing. And if we drop points in this game, we'd be saying he's this year's Dambanovic. Last year it was Montenegro, and this year it's this guy. And that's what scares me. If there's one thing that scares me for the remaining 6 games, it's that. It's the refereeing. Second half, very different. Well, again, sport art. For me, it's one of our top 3 goals of the season. If Foti scored that, everyone would be going crazy about it, the whole fan base. That is a sensational finish. Almost as if he made up for the chance he missed a couple of minutes earlier. I was a bit pissed when he missed that one. He threw his body, just couldn't connect with the low cross.
Yeah, I felt it was a bit slow to get to that.
Yeah. Out of the 2, that one was the more straightforward one than the goal. That goal was a bloody sensational finish. It's right in that sweet spot. A bit more one side or the other. If he hits it more to the right, it goes out. More to the left, it gets saved. And it's that one touch shot. It's a phenomenal goal. As I said, probably one of our top 3 goals of the season. Just off the top of my head, Judicic scored a banger against Ike at home. We had a great one passing out from the back against Balk in the cup. And then there's this one.
Come on, you're forgetting Jeremijev's
the scissor.
scissor.
Of course, yeah. But this one's up there in a big pressure cooker environment as well.
No, the importance of it, you can't deny.
Yeah.
An amazing goal for when we really did need it. In a tough game.
Yeah, and the involves shocking, very tough for the players. As we said, with a short turnaround and all that, and rotated. And that's what you want. From Sportar came on, he showed something. That's all we need. If he can just at the very least come on and give us a plan B off the bench and show the hunger and passion like he did this morning. And same for Judicic when he came on and he had a big part in the second goal. That's what we want to see from these guys. And we'll get on to what Terim said after the game, but he alluded to the fact that he wants to give these fringe players more minutes. He name-checked Limnios, Mancini was another one, and there was one more. Oh, do you remember who it was?
Juricic as well.
Yeah, that was the trio that he name-checked. But then the big moment came in the 89th minute when Dragovski was hit Jedvaj. I'm talking about. Man of the match is either Dragovski or Jedvaj. What a goal line clearance that is. From 1-1 to then go down the other end and score to make it 2-0. Unbelievable. Jedvaj or Dragovski for me, man of the match.
I'd probably say Jedvaj because Dragovski, a lot of the shots were cross shots.
Yeah, they weren't major. Yeah.
Nothing really that would say like he did a spectacular save. He made him a big presence. But
the other two, like Arao and Akaidin, very solid as well.
And I think, Nick, you summed it up really well. I don't have too much to add other than the defence in the last 2 games has been a lot more solid. And as much as Spora's goal is brilliant, as much as Ioannidis in past games has been on form, it's our defense really. It's held up and has managed us to get these results. And it seems like that if we're going to have a shot at the title run here, if the defense can hold up, all of a sudden I'm believing in it. I'm believing that we can do it. When you got Yedvay on form, like you pointed out, you got Akadin that's all of a sudden
How good's
out
he
of
been?
nowhere. Yeah, he's showing form, and Aral's been Aral. He's been probably the one most consistent
Yeah.
defender that we've had in recent times. So I think today just reconfirms it that where we should have probably conceded, it was our defense that saved us. And a couple of moments there, and I know that is it Moron that
Yeah. Handful.
yeah, he was a very big handful.
He killed us in the first the regular season when we lost.
And he's still top scorer in the league.
He might be.
He'd be right up there.
He was still a threat in the first half. He was a big threat. He got found
2
space.
chances inside 15 minutes.
So to be able to, whilst he had chances though, our defense still managed to limit how much he can do. And I think there was one attacking moment. Was it the first half where he had the ball with his back against the goal, and somehow was able to turn it and squeeze through our players, but into a toe poke, which Drogovsky saved. But it was the defensive pressure that we had. It sort of didn't make it quite a clear shot. And it was this. If you find a moment, and if I can find it, I'll share it, where it was because of that defensive pressure, the desperation from our players in defense. You can see that they believe in what they're doing a lot more than what they were when they were still trying to find their feet, especially our Gaten, who we know how poor he was in his first few games.
Yeah. Yeah, the players are really fighting for it. There was, a little bit of talk that the players weren't united, selfishness, especially after the bowl game, like players whinging who was going to take the free kick, so on. But you just fast forward a week later and you look at this game, you see Bernard just giving it everything. Like
I love him.
He wants to leave a winner. There's just something has just transformed with him, and he just wants to leave a winner. Palacios' return, bit average, bit rusty. He'll be back. Just give him a game or two.
Yeah. And that's the thing. I was happy when I saw him named to start. I thought he was going to offer something in this game, but just wasn't his day.
Yeah. Well, yeah, how the game unfolded, first half.
It's that. Yeah.
I'd say Aris were the better team.
They controlled it, yeah.
Yeah, they created more threatening chances, more threatening positions. One good chance. We had one good chance. I think they had one or two good chances. They were more threatening team, very physical. Officiating was Dabanovic levels. I'll say it clearly. That was absolutely disgrace. Barker gets absolutely hit late. He's just in pain down on the ground. Play on. I've got my. I just remember just writing my notes on it. Yedvay won the ball outside the box. Cops a yellow card for
Yellow.
they get a free kick outside the box. Moron holds on to the power play. I think he was holding on to Akadin. He wins the free kick. Then Akadin loses it. Just getting kicked via just for one hold. Straight away yellow. Their players were just getting away with so much. And my background is what instigated what led to the halftime clash. Forty just having a chat with as they call him the Stratego, Manzios, and then it just became very heated. I think Terim's that the guy with the Kotsida, he looked like he wanted to get involved. He was just waiting for this punch so he can get involved. Guy looks like a bouncer, so not someone that you want to start with. Second half, Terim changes it from his 4-2-3-1 to a 3-5-2, played a flat three. So what he did was he brought Arol as a flat three. That was to control Moron. Ever since that, Moron did nothing in that second half. there was no space for him to work. Ada was just beasting it there, and then the other two just had a much easier time. I think Vayanidis and Juanca had a good game as well.
Mm.
I think just took them 5-10 minutes to adjust to the tactical change because they were just getting a little bit beaten easily. From there on, they just had a comfortable time just winning the ball, everything, and then we controlled the game from there on. The game was a bit of an arm wrestle. We got the goal through the pressure. Again, we allowed Aris to just hold the ball without doing much. They had that big chance right at the end, and then we turned that into a goal. So it was pleasing to get that the result, despite the poor officiating. It was so poor. I think even old mate Beos he's been complaining about the refs in his game, came out and said καλά για τον Σκοπιανό διαιτητή που όρισαν στο χθεσινό αγώνα στο Βικελίδης για 2 κιλά σπαλομπριζόλες ουδέν σχόλιο. The whole of Greece is laughing with this.
Is it just us? Like I know the other clubs have been shafted by bad refereeing, Greeks and non-Greeks this season. But it seems to be that we're the ones that get it the worst. That's not a victim mentality. I honestly think we're easy targets, and we get these shit refs constantly more than anyone else.
Yeah. Terry obviously in his post.
He mentioned it. Yeah.
Yeah, he said he agreed with the fans. I don't think he specifically wanted to target the ref, but he said it in a way that the ref was shit. But he said it in a way that he agrees with the fans. So I think he was just trying to get a loophole to not get himself in trouble.
But he's always said it, and he to his credit, he very rarely brings up the officiating.
Only after the PAO game,
second time since he's been.
He doesn't want to attack the referees. But it was an interesting post that match. It was he was saying, he wants the team united.
He scheduled the meeting.
But I think whilst he included some players in like who he wants to see more from and give time to, I think that United front was taking a couple of digs at current players of Bart and Aitor not being, part of the philosophy, not buying into the philosophy, the change, working hard. Which has probably seen him frozen out on the team. But yeah, he's saying everything counts from now on. Every throwing, every tackle, every offside, everything counts from here on. Which is valid. So it's a game of just winning everything, whether it's a throwing, whether it's anything. Everything counts. So we do have
it's that
and one final for the League Cup. So it's gonna be a tense finish. The game.
What I think Sturge Stedin's good at as well, he'll keep a lid on things to not look too far ahead, one game at a time. Bakasetas mentioned it after the game. You can see it. They're not looking too far ahead. If we look too far ahead, we're going to burn ourselves.
Yeah, we're probably blessed that we've got the week in between games now, so it's not the midweek game, which does the sleep some wonders as well. But yeah, we do have 2 games against Lamia, who I think when we previewed the playoffs, we predicted that they will be the whipping boys. So far, they have shown to be the whipping boys. Let's see what they do against us, whether they will show up like they typically do. They'll have incentive being, the Gaules' satellite club.
Yeah. After 4 rounds of the playoffs, we've picked up 9 points, which is the most so far, and we're the only ones that are yet to face Lamia.
And we've got twice.
So I did a bit of an analysis on that, Nick, and you're 100% right. We played Lamia twice when no one else does. And looking at the schedule, I think that we've probably got the best schedule coming home. So everyone's got 6 games. We've got obviously 2 games they're very difficult, AEK away and BAOK away, which is probably arguably the most difficult game still to come. But AEK's got PAOK away. They've got Olympiacos away. They've got Adi away. They play Adi twice as well. And then PAOK's got
They'll
Olymp-
beat
sorry?
they'll beat
Yeah.
Aris at home.
Yeah,
They would be Adi at home,
and probably away.
but it's still a trip to Hadilao, right?
Yeah,
Well,
which they dropped points in the regular season.
yeah, they've been a bit of a bogey, and in the cup they not got knocked out.
And then you got PAOK has got Olympiacos away. They've got Adi away. We know Adi really step up against PAOK.
Always.
And they beat PAOK at Tumba.
Yep, 1-0.
And they play Olympiacos twice. And we know Olympiacos, how much was it? 5-1 they beat him in Tumba?
4-1.
4-1?
Yeah.
And in the regular season, Polk won, I think, 4.
4-2.
Yeah. After Polk was leading 4-0, it was too late. Olympiacos goals.
So the schedule gives us hope. It's up to us, I think, personally.
It's in our hands. Compared to this time last year, I don't want to, again, we got to keep a lid on it as well ourselves as fans. This time last year, deep down, we all sort of knew them, we were out of steam. Now, hopefully, again, because we've had a lot of false dawns and like false starts this year. You think, okay, we've turned the corner, we're going to go on a run, and we haven't. We've got to keep a lid on it, but it's looking like if we, as you said, the draw's favourable. One game at a time. Let's get maximum points from Lamia, and then let's reassess.
I think we've already got more points than last year's playoffs. Or
If we win the next one, I believe.
one more.
I think it was unique that in there one of our chats said that we 10 points last playoffs.
Yeah.
And we're already on 9 after 4.
So not that I want to be a jinx or anything like that, but it's funny because we're packing up here at home. The wife's sort of packing up boxes of old DVDs, and as she's packing up, I'm just helping by chance, and by luck, she pulls out this DVD that had some old tickets to the football game, and it was a 2004 championship DVD. That was sort of tucked away. I was like, oh, okay. Very, very interesting, very ominous before our podcast today that seemed to come up. But coming back to the playoffs though, and if our schedule, it'd be interesting to see after the 2 Lamia games. I actually probably more worry about the Lamia games than I worry about some of the other games, to be honest.
Yeah, it's a fair call.
Yeah, our consistency, it can't be understated. We're too inconsistent. We dropped points against the real shit teams, and then we do well against the bigger teams, so can't take any of the games for granted. We do play Lamia the first game. We play them at home, but we did drop points at home to them. 2-2 that game, where just silly errors.
And then after that was Gifisiad dropped points, and then Offie dropped points. Imagine if we got maximum points. Just forget the other Gearless earlier in the season. Just those 3. We'd be first already.
Yeah.
That's the frustrating part. It's that inconsistency that scares you.
But it's fair to say that even like a game like today, if it was a game of inches, like the Sport R goal was executed perfectly, there was no margin of error. The Yedvai clearance on the line, really, that was no margin for error either. So it was a game of inches. It could have gone either way, that result. And on the flip side, I know you boys watched the highlights of Ake and PAOK, and some of the goals that were conceded there, you go, oh, geez, you wouldn't see that happening in a normal environment. So the other teams are prone to these slip-ups too. Yeah. And this is where a bit of luck on a day is going to make a big difference for any of these clubs right now.
And we must say that so the other game, we weren't even mentioning Olympiacos because they beat Lamia, but Ike PAOK 2-2. The best case scenario was the draw. Ike were leading 2-0, and Ike has PAOK's number. Everyone knows that. It's common knowledge, but Ike clawed back 2 goals, especially in the last minute, and both teams had chances to win it in the injury time also. Still can't get over how Ike scored their second goal. Some really poor keeping when Kotarski looks like prime Buffon versus Panathinaikos, and then just an innocent free kick. He just watches it go past him and then does a late dive just couldn't believe it. So yeah, you're right. You're right. The teams look like they're prone. I think teams are going to get tired as well. We're not the only tired ones. The fixture congestions, it's an even playing field. I think it hurts probably Orly and Bulk a little bit more because of their 2 European games. They've got next week off. They're scheduled to face each other, but they have a full week off, which is I just don't understand. They play a few days later after the European game against each other, which you'd think that would have that game off, not this one week off. So yeah, they'll be almost 2 weeks off without playing a game. It doesn't make a whole lot of sense. But yeah, it's an even playing field. If you look at the ladder as it stands is Bulk first on 67, Ike second on 66, Panathinaikos third on 65, and Olympiacos fourth on 63. With that, we've maintained now the best defense in the league. We better Bulk by 1, and we still have we're 3 goals behind Bulk in best attack in the league. So those metrics were ahead of. We're 3 goals better than Ike defensively and 3 goals better than Ike attackingly, and everyone raves on about Ike's attack, which is a bit of food for thought, especially when we got Lamia next, who you'd say they are the whipping boys at the moment of the playoffs. So it's just a bit of food for thought there on that. So I think we're in a pretty good spot at the moment if you just go by those metrics.
And if I go to the head-to-head with us and Lamia, it was Galitos that did the damage against us last time, wasn't it?
Yep.
There was that Carlitos in the opening goal from the stupidity of Aikaidin, and then Mladenovic failed to track his man on the back post with Lamia's second goal when the guy crossed the Tintilas, the guy that's Ike bound.
Yeah, yep.
Last Tintulas, something like that. Yeah.
Tilulis.
Yeah, that's it.
So one would think that with really nothing in it for them, obviously Carlitos, he's definitely gone.
He's gone.
I don't know. Maybe I'm clutching at straws here, but should be a lesser threat than what they were when we last played them.
Yeah, Carlitos was pretty good versus us, to be honest.
He had every point to prove against his old club.
And he got it at the point as well for his club.
Mm.
But yeah, so the next game is next week. It is a 5 p.m. Greek local time. For those from Australian Eastern Standard Time, it is a midnight game, so a little bit friendlier. The games, so back to back versus Lamia, both midnight games. After that, it starts getting rough for the time zones. For those in America or elsewhere, probably need to check your own time zones there. But for those on the Australian Eastern Standard Time, back to back midnight games, so a little bit time friendly, you'd say. The two o'clock, 3 o'clock games are the real killers. But
They're the ones you get 2-3 hours sleep on.
yeah, before and then 1 hour after.
Mm.
Let's talk a little bit. And the boys did talk about Fortis, his transfer rumors. It's obviously heating up a bit with the Sporting. Even Fabrizio Romano tweeted about Aris, the Sporting striker. He's got, prior to yesterday, he was on 51 goals and assists for the season in the Portuguese league. There's rumors that his agent had talks with the club, potential 100 million euro signing. What does that mean for us? It means there's a domino effect. Sporting or the media have made it no secret that he is linked with Sporting. Sporting is very interested. They've got excellent scouting, an excellent manager who they believe could be Liverpool bound, according to conversations. They've got an excellent setup at the moment, so it's a space to watch, especially with what happens with Gyökeres, because then it's going to be a domino effect. I do see then Sporting making a bid for 40. The rumor would be he would be the most expensive player at 25 million euro, which 30% will go to Leverkusen.
What a deal that is for them.
That sets them up, doesn't it?
Yeah. I read somewhere the rumor was I swooped in at the time for 40 with a bid for 1 million. They rejected it and they sent him to us for free because they knew they could insert this clause.
Originally, the clause was a 50%.
Yeah.
We've negotiated to bring it down to 30%. They knew that that would make much more on a sale, that he would develop well, and we'd make a sale. I don't think they knew we'd develop him this well to get a reported fee of 25 million.
So what we established during the week is that Cisse has been our most expensive sale at 5.8 million euro.
Yeah, it was just something.
If Foti is sold for 25 million, Leverkusen are going to make 7.5 million.
Yep.
So they're going to make more in terms of the percentage rights than we've made on our next biggest transfer ever. That is huge, huge for a club that's currently in Vita Ethniki.
Yeah, with prospects of almost coming up.
That's how you run a club. Take no garafla.
And look, I'm sure because I know that Alafuzo and they're mates, so I'm sure there was a bit of a handshake agreement there. It's going to work out in some shape or form. But look, take the Leverkusen deal away. 25 million for any Greek player is a huge number. I've said it before. I didn't think that any player in the Greek league was worth that much. I know that Levi Garcia was being touted as 30 million at the start of the last.
No, 30.
Didn't go.
It was they offered allegedly 20, the French club.
But Ake wanted 30 though.
Ake wanted 30 because I think the clause is 20 or 25% as well. It was something higher as well. Ake had like a sell-on fee of 25% from his prior club.
But either way, if I don't think he's worth that much, not even here. But whether it's him, whether it's Anidi, whether it's someone else, that's a huge number for any player in the Greek league. So if Panathafan can get that fee for 40, I'd say good on him. It's probably the first time I'll say they have done great business. And it's very, very rarely you say that when it comes to player transfers for our club anyway in recent times.
Yeah.
But he's got the whole package. He's so good. And there's room for improvement. That's the scary thing.
He's probably flaws his striking instincts.
Yeah.
He's finishing, just that big-bodied player. But he can create. He can make the space. He's getting better. He's getting quicker as well. You can see him in his dribbles. He's getting much better and quicker as well, which is good. To be a true threat, really. If he had hit that 15, 16 goal mark thereof, I think he's sitting on 10, 11 at the moment, up to 12, but if he was sitting at about 15, 16, then you'd be like, well, like this guy can finish. But I think that's the only thing that I see that flaw in his game, that getting those extra few goals.
You know what? I'd back him to get there.
Yeah, so would I. I think he's certainly got another 4 or 5 goals in him if this campaign.
No, twofold. That and also in his career as a whole, I back him to improve his finishing over time as well. Imagine him at 28, 29.
Yeah. Well, we saw it, I think, was it last year where he finally started shooting. I think he scored that cracker after 10 games where it was fresh, outside the box, the left footer that he scored. And it was
against Atromitos.
Yeah, so many He just could have shot and he didn't shoot. And it's like, if he wants to go to that next level, he's got to shoot more. It's getting better, but yeah, he just needs that little bit of that striking, that predatory instinct to just get a few more goals, just that striker's finish. But yeah, not a good example, but you saw Sporter today. That's what we want to see.
Yeah, that was good, as we said. But look, as you said as well, 25 million for any great player is a big deal, especially for us. And there's a great I'll borrow as part of the last football podcast I'm on, and Stephen was on, that we say that there's an English tax. He used the phrase English tax, great discount. Imagine if Forty was another nationality. If he was like German or Dutch or Italian or French or Spanish or English or Brazilian, what fee he'd get.
If his name was Frank John.
Yeah, Mudryk 100 million back then.
Yeah, but yeah, I don't, for his career, yeah, I'm putting his thing first. Should probably avoid the English Premier League. I don't think he's too well suited. That scrutiny, that heavy burden that comes with it. The Portuguese league would be a perfect step.
We'll change his name to Fortinho.
Yeah,
especially Sporting, as you said. I think that'd be good structures in place to really develop him and take him to that next level. I always had it in my head either Italy or more so Germany, because he's got that background. His father, I think he was born there or lived there. So he's got some ties to Germany.
The issue with Italy, not many clubs can offer that money. Market, and they've said that they were priced out. Essentially, they couldn't even pay. Was it the 10 million for Dobbik, who's absolutely
done,
healing it in Spain for Girona? So, which was a bad business move by their end because he's shown that he's a star there. So,
our old counterpart when it's at the first round qualifications, Dobbik.
Bro, yeah. So he showed his class. Yeah,
he'll be playing Champions League next season.
Exactly.
Yep.
That's if he doesn't get a move already.
Yep. And if he does get a move, it'll be to a Champions League club.
He's under the CFG banner. So
Man City.
Wouldn't surprise me if Man City pick him up.
So the question for both of you, do you actually see Forty moving in the summer? Do you think, what's the likelihood of it happening?
I'd say if the Gyökeres move happens, yes, I'd say there's a domino effect there. I don't think. Well, it's a dream that anyone these days to play in England. I think if an English offer does come through, he'd want that move. Just judging from what I've heard in social spaces in terms of online, he's not too phased about a move anywhere else. He's happy to stay in Greece even on an improved contract, but if a Premier League team does come knocking, he would want that opportunity. He would want to move. So, which is understandable. You got the hundreds of millions that watch, well, tens of millions that watch weekly the games. Just the whole marketing, everything. You're playing the best of the best almost.
I don't want to admit it. I think he's gonna go. Sadly, if you now say an answer yes or no, I really want him to stay and give us one more year. I think he's gonna go.
Would us winning the league this year make the decision easier for to sell him?
Without a doubt.
If I recall, obviously Sporting is the one that's a serious interest there, and it's been all over the Portuguese sports papers as well. The Protoselidas there with Forti's face on a Sporting jersey, but I think there's a few other clubs obviously showing interest. The rumor was Rennes, who we played in the Europa, was interested as well.
I think
Yeah.
Lons as well, Lens.
Yeah.
They were interested. Lazio, Torino from Italy. Don't know if there was another Italian club. Germany, it was I think it was Stuttgart, and I don't know which others, but they're the rumored clubs.
Look, I hope he does stay. I really hope he does. But we can't tie him down either. Like, we can't hold him against his will.
Exactly. And today he wore the armband as well, and he did show that leadership. And he did show that passion.
So I'd say that if Sporting's interest doesn't come through, he'll probably stay. I think, and I'll take on board the points that you boys made about the Italian clubs don't have 20, 25 million to spend on him, or aren't willing to. And I'm not quite sure the interest is serious enough from any other club.
Still early days.
It is early days. And look at the one thing, if it was just the form in a Greek league, I'd seriously question that transfer fee being serious. But the fact that he's actually had goal scoring form in the Europa against clubs like Villarreal and
Ren.
is where, okay, he has proven himself at a top-notch level.
Yeah.
Against France as well. And he's shown himself in derbies as well. He's the only player to score in all the derbies.
He scored, I know it was a penalty, but against Marseille as well.
Yeah. He scored the last minute pen.
Last minute in front of their ultras.
So,
Just send it extra time.
does have that pedigree, and I won't rule out. I'd say the derbies do help because they're not easy games. They're high pressure games. Even in the Greek league, they're high pressure games. So showing his ability to score in hostile situations, hostile position, gets a big tick as well.
Mm. We'll see, boys. We'll see. It's going to be one hell of an interesting transfer season with this.
Zaraki does the magic and keeps him in Athens.
Unless she wants to go travel overseas.
Yeah, that's the other worry.
But then there's also there was just more an unofficial sort of reporting, and I've called this name from 4 months ago, 5 months ago, which makes me excited that it's, once again, take it with a grain of salt. Zagaritis as left back. I've wanted him in. There's no doubt we're going to go get a left back this window. Juanca will be gone. Great servant for the club, but I think even he knows his time is up. After the A game, I think it was his 100th appearance.
Yeah.
He broke down and cried because he knew it was a milestone game and he gave away the goal. It was pretty much his error. But I think you've seen this season, he's at the later stage of his career where he's probably got 1-2 years at a lower kind of level. I think this kind of level's now past him. And we need to go younger. I've been calling younger and been saying we need to go for Zagaritis, and Zagaritis hasn't worked out in Italy. He's still young, 22.
Look at what we did with Vayanidis. Same thing.
And I think that's what helps as well. He's a former PAO player. We've rejuvenated Vayanidis. The same thing can apply here as well. He'll get his career back as well. He'll be pushed by Mladenovic if he comes as well. He'll probably opt to be the starter or fighting for the position. I'd say he's got the starting position because still have my doubts about Mladenovic's defending capabilities. Not so much his offense. He's shown he can attack. He's more than often pretty good delivery with his left foot, but yeah, I'd love to see Zagaritis back. Be a good move for all parties involved there.
And who's negotiating that deal, Sturgeon? Asked that. It's a very leading question. Is our mate Papa Dimitriou sort of initiating the contact there, or is it just Alafuzo and his old contacts and the cheerleaders doing his bit on the sidelines during games?
Yeah, unsure about that. Because his contract does expire So it would be a free transfer if he is to come. There was obviously those rumors, Olympiacos and Ike, but it's rumored that Ike have got
Nulis.
Lulis. They've signed him, and Olympiacos have like multiple players on that left-hand side. That pretty much puts us in the prime position for his signature. Does come as a free contract. They should just hurry up and get it done. Just
They should do it now.
unless it's already verbally agreed upon and they're just focusing on the end of season stuff.
Unless he doesn't want to come back. And not so much that he doesn't want to come back to our club. Maybe he just doesn't want to come back to Greece.
I don't think he's got too many options at the moment. If he's not getting really game time in Serie B, where's he going to go?
True.
I think he's seen what's happened with Vayanidis. It's a no-brainer for him to get his career back on track.
And the other question is, if you think back to Vayanidi, when he came back in his first season, he actually played in a youth team to get.
I think he was just a little bit younger. I think Vayanidis is what, 20, 21? So, yeah, Vayanidis was, in the youth team, really pushing this season. Yeah, Vayanidis is, same age, 22. So, they're the same age. You'd think he's too old for the B team. He wouldn't be really put in the B team. He'd be signed for the first team and push for the first team. Terim has openly said that he wants Greek players in the team. So
The other question mark is around Godzilla. I think we all know what the fans want, but there's been absolutely zero noise about what's happening in terms of him being signed up again. From what
I've got a good feeling. I've got a good feeling it'll get done.
yeah, I think the conversation is that it's done. I think it will happen after the season.
I think they're so focused now on these. Every game's a cup final. They're so focused on that they'll announce anything after it.
Yeah, he's done. He's done well this season to warrant extensions. He's been an excellent servant for the club, especially under Terim, where he's shifted and played multiple positions. Right back, left back, centre back, defensive mid, the centre mid as the 8. We've seen him there. He could have thrown him in the basketball team and he would have done the job there as well. So he's been good servant. Does warrant a contract extension, 1+1 2-year contract extension. He's in that 30, 31 stage. So
he's not that old.
He's 31.
Yeah, it's not bad.
Yeah, but
he's got three good years in him at least, I reckon.
I want to tie down players in their
I know we want to get younger, but he's got something to give.
I'm just always, especially when players are in there. He's 31 at the moment.
Yeah, I'd say maybe 2 years.
32 in December, so I wouldn't give him more than 2 years. 32 in December, you wouldn't give him more than 2 years.
Yeah.
And I think that's probably also worth negotiating. And
These days, the players used to be like 27. You're at your peak. These days, a lot of them hit their peaks later, and they play longer, and they can play at a higher level longer.
The player management's a lot better in terms of sports scientists and know what they're doing, diet and exercise and all that, but still would hesitate doing more than 2 years.
Yeah.
So, I know we talked about it before, but, in Bernard's having a brilliant end to his time with the club and this season. He's going to be very hard to replace, but it's a big wage that's going to be freed off our books. You think that's going to give us the ability to spend?
And he's got pulled at him if he stays.
If he stays?
If Terim stays on, he's got full. Like, players will want to play under him.
Oh, absolutely. Sorry, in that sense, yes, I misunderstood. So
he'll be able to attract a quality replacement is what I'm trying to get to.
Yeah, no, absolutely.
One player that we need to make that signing, pay the fee and make that signing, and he's arguably also been our best player since Terim, is Yedvay. because he's on loan with
Yeah.
us.
And that's not a big fee. You said it.
$1.5 million fee.
There's no more than 1.5.
That is
Get it done.
that's
Get
a
it done.
that one needs to be done.
For loans, Dragovski is the question mark. Jedvai's got to get done.
Yeah, Jedwai is a must. Dragowski, I think a lot of it depends on the fee with Spezia. A lot of it, I think we discussed on the last pod. It's dependent on their league form. If they survive and stay in Serie B, it's a little bit harder. I think it was that 4.5 million. If they go down, it becomes significantly cheaper. Where they sit is a good question because they're coming 15th, but I don't know how many teams go down in
Three
yeah.
teams. They are. I just have got it here. 3 teams go down, and they are 3 points ahead of 18th, which is the last relegation spot.
They do play a play out though.
Yeah, there is, which
There
is
is a play out. So it's three that get automatically relegated, and 16th plays 17th. I think for that final.
yes, and they are equal. So 16th and 17th at the moment is Bari and Ternana,
But there's 2 other teams on 35 as well.
which includes them. So
So
they're on equal points with 16th and 17th.
no, so 17th is on 33. They're 16th on 35. 14th and 15th are on 35 as well.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
So they've gotten a few points in their last few games, which obviously doesn't bode well for us.
So, apologies to any Spezia fans who may have tuned into this podcast, but for economic reasons, we would like you to get relegated.
Yeah, 100%. And they do play Parma, who's leading the league. Next game, they're playing them away, which bodes well for us. That's good for us that they play them.
Is that oh, there's still a number of games, still 6 games in the season.
Yeah,
So it's still a fair bit to play out there.
it's a fair bit, but playing them, yeah, it does help. There's 6 games left in their league.
So if they coming back to it though, let's say Spezia does stay out, it's a $4 million fee. Sorry, €4 million fee.
They don't have an easy run whatsoever. They've got Parma. If you look, sorry for going a bit off track. They've got Sampdoria and Brescia who are pushing for promotion as well. Who are in there? They've got like promotion playoff quarterfinals that they play in. So, they don't exactly have it easy. They're playing first place or trying to win it and get promoted. Then they've got a couple of teams that are trying to push for promotion as well. So fingers crossed, Spezia fans, that you are going down to Serie C.
I'm not sure if we've got the willingness to pay 4 million for a keeper.
No.
And that's the concern. That
Yeah.
he's been great for us. I'd love to keep him, but that's a big fee.
Yeah. And we can get someone for less. That's quality.
Yeah, you'd think so.
A lot of good keepers. If you go down that free agent path that we can get.
Yeah.
I mean, we look at Brugnoli, who was a free, and he turned out to be a great signing up until he went haywire at the end. Back to your point, Nick, though, you're right. Tyrion certainly got an excellent ability to track players. And
We did it with Bakasetas and Maximovic.
And I know we said this in our group chat as well, but I'd like to see, irrespective of whether we win a championship or not, Terry stay on, because for that transfer season where I think that his influence would have a positive influence. So it's been discussed on this pod many a time about and I'm happy to say being a loud voice about Papadimitriou's inability to have successful track record when it comes to our signings. Shall I mention the infamous spreadsheet that he
Yes.
puts on our players? Thank you. I couldn't resist. But I look at the sport, and we talked about, and Sturge, you made a great point about Sporting Lisbon and their great setup when it comes to scouts and ability to find these hidden gems in the European market amongst other markets. Yeah, we got absolutely none of that ability. And that's where I think we rely on Terim and his connections to be able to do that on behalf of our technical director.
Well, for me, irrespective, Papa Dimitriou needs to go. I did my blog. I did a bit of research, everything on him. He's just failed in his position for me.
Speaking of blogs, your other one was good.
Oh, thank you, thank you,
That really hit the spot.
thank you. I think he got printed in the Greek media here as well.
Did
Did
it?
it?
Yeah, I think he got caught on. So, but yeah, I don't want to get too much of a big head. So,
No, you got to share the media that was in there, Sturge. I'm curious. I want to know.
you
It
know.
was a great piece. I 100% agree.
Need to search it out. But yeah, the Papa Dimitriou blog, I think that one, he's failed at Xanthi. They've been relegated under his watch.
Yeah.
He was in these weird sort of roles, no real success. 1 year at the club and then becomes a TD here. Signed all 30-year-olds. Really, the Aral one worked out. Was yet by his. Don't know. There was obviously differences with what the coach wanted, with what he delivered as well in terms of players. So, I don't think Papa Dimitriou should stay on. But the issue is with the season finishing X amount of time, depending on what happens, whether we win the league or we win the cup or we don't, there's major ramifications because of when Europe starts. We do have Euros, and then if it's Conference League or Europa, if we win the cup, it's almost straight after the Euros. So
A few days after the final.
we do have a really small window because we're going to have a high turnaround of players. We're going to lose about 7, 8 players at least, and we need to fill the gap. Especially, we're going to verse weaker team, but you want to have a solid foundation, a solid team there already. So that's the only concern as well about. Terran will be a huge loss, and that's to your point there, Panathafan, that if we lose Terran, even if we don't win the league, you need to be prepared if you're going to throw in a new coach with a new TD, because if Terran goes, Papa Dimitriou has to follow him. That is without a doubt a no-brainer, because that means Papa Dimitriou has failed under Yova and he's failed under Terran as well. So gives very small window for a coach and a new TD, if one's appointed, to bring in players, implement their systems, implement everything.
The only other scenario is, and it's unlikely, but maybe Terim wants to keep Papadimitriou in his role if he gives Terim free reign. So it depends how much of a control freak Terim is, and if Papadimitriou lets him do his own thing, then he may well be to sort of secure his own short-term future if that's the case.
What are you gonna do? Just sit on the bench.
Sits on the bench next to him and just cheers him on and just gets another yellow from the referee. He acted like a clown again against Ike and got himself yellow.
But it's crazy that I've been saying that, but if he brings no value to Terim, then if Terim? Sometimes the devil you know, right? And Terim may say, you know what, this guy's not bothering me. He's staying out of my way. Just keep him there.
He's probably on good terms with Alafusos.
The tail wagging the dog, they say.
What a life. What a job he's got. He's got it good.
So one thing I was going to say is that if any one of us go to Greece in the summertime for a holiday, this is a message to Panathinaikos Football Club. We're offering our service for free consultants when it comes to transfer season. These podcasts show we know our stuff. We've done our research. Let's engage our services. We'll do it for the love of the club and nothing else.
And I'll even do cheerleading work as well next to Terry. Throw that in there as well. I'll get myself a yellow.
So see that picture there, Sturge, in your wallpaper, the Addy guy, if his hands outstretched with the security pass. That's what I want to be when I go there. I want to get the security pass and go on the ground, and I can do my black gears as well.
I'm gonna be the guy that see the mother with the on the right hand side,
Yeah.
foot to shoulder, but the guy next to him in the background trying to get involved. That's gonna be my role. It's gonna be my role. Just be like a presence, but not really in the thick of it. That's the cheerleader role.
So the guy on your far right, Sturge, so our left, in the blue suit, if the
Oh yeah, I think he was one of the culprits. It looks like yeah,
he was the one that actually I think pushed it for the end, and that's what sort of ignited it even more, if I'm not mistaken.
pushed a PAO staffer as well.
Mm.
The keeper pushed the PAO staffer as well.
That club is a disgrace, though.
Yeah,
Seriously. The way Munzios carried on after we were the better team, we deserved 3 points. Barata mas.
complain about officiating, and then
Officiating.
even their whole club is a joke. From their
Yeah.
Super 3 fans, but they only have 3 fans, and you know what they're saying about the cup. They're saying play it at Leofordo so they can bring their fans. They couldn't. They filled 50% of their own stadium against us in their own city. They've got no fans. Our fans have said play it in their ground. We'll fill it up for them. The last time they came to Leofordo, their fans, we gave them tickets. There's a picture that circulated. It's only like 20 of their fans.
Yeah.
Embarrassing. No wonder they don't want to. They don't
There
want.
were fans. Our fans were at the game this morning.
Wasn't no way fans.
Not organized. Well,
Not
just
organised,
a
yeah.
couple of people that I've seen on Facebook that I'm friends with. They posted it. Just with families. They were there. Panathinaikos supporters. They were at the game with the kids and everything.
But
Nick, I'm gonna have to disagree with you. There is a club that has been more embarrassing than Addy.
Oh, of course.
It doesn't have to be named when it comes to fat blokes who think they're fit and getting upset over pizzas being served.
but no wonder they don't want to play the cup final at Owaka. They can't even fill that out their own section. That's why they want to play it in a smaller stadium because we'll fill it up for them. It's embarrassing that club and how they're carrying on. The Greek FA was an embarrassment. They should have dates and a stadium locked in and just tell the clubs this is it and this is that's it. You got no
2
say.
years in a row. Butchered it.
They can't have clubs holding the game to hostage and ransom with their just thing. Just say this is the stadium, it's locked in, this is the date, deal with it. Sell out or don't sell out. That's it. It's on you to sell your own tickets and your own thing.
Yep. Butchered 2 years in a row completely this cup final.
Embarrassing. Lack of leadership. And we've seen that.
Well, he'll go. They got elections coming up at the PAO soon.
Yeah. It's embarrassing with that situation. Then on a different track for yet, but I won't go there. I think we should.
Yeah. That still burns.
I think we should just get into the basketball part. Panathinaikos basketball last on Friday.
Saturday for us, wasn't it?
Saturday morning, yeah.
Saturday morning, yep.
Played against Bayern Munich in Germany. 3,500 fans were there, loud, made themselves a force. We won 82-75. Wasn't all too easy for us, but we finally got to see. Obviously, none was a standout, but I think we saw probably Hernan Gomez have one of his best games for us, especially shooting the 3 range. He finally found his range. Overall, it was a bit of a tricky match. It wasn't as easy as the scoreline suggested. They do have former NBA player Sergi Ibaka, who used to, had 1-2 big seasons when he was at Oklahoma and at Toronto. But apart from that, you know, a win's a win. We hold on to second. I'll let Panathafan give us the breakdown now. I'll be honest, I didn't watch. I just watched a bit of the highlights and the back end of the last couple of minutes, but let Panathafan break it down.
Yeah, look, to me, I mean, you touched on it in terms of Hernan Gomez had a great game, and yeah, it's been a few games now with a bit of a streak where Sluka is finally really showing his true value as a player. And we've got Vildoza who's starting to come back and find some rhythm, although he's still not 100% in terms of his form either. But we're getting players back. Like Goslan de Kumbo's back, which is a good backup there for Lesor, and Lesor continues, providing his value. None all the talk in Europe is about Kendrick Nunn at the moment. And there's rumours about Anadolu Efes offering him a huge contract at the end of the season as well to prime away. So, and I think we've made already an offer for an extension of his contract too.
Yeah, 2 years.
But for the game against Bayern, I think Bayern were actually doing really well on the perimeter in terms of shooting threes. They were giving us a bit of grief in terms of their 3-point shooting. So, but overall though, tight game, but I think we won, and we won without too much of an issue in the last few minutes. We've got Osval at home in the last game of the season,
which is good. It's last place. It's against last place, which should solidify the second position on the ladder.
So how does it then work? Because it's not a top 8, isn't it? Like down to 10th, it's like a playoff thing.
Is a play-in for the bottom 4 in the top 10.
Yeah.
Then from the play-in, it determines the bottom 7th and 8th. That determines who we play. So if we finish second and
7th, we should play 7th in theory.
7th, which could well be Baskonia or Maccabi as potential opponents. They're probably the 2 most likely.
Bologna and FS as well.
And over how many? Three games?
I think it's the best of 5. If I'm not
5, so first to 3.
That's right.
Yeah.
And really, I'll share this with you boys. So I was sort of looking at the format and then looking at how potential opponents will be, and I was getting completely ahead of myself. And I was like, okay, if we make Final 4, I'll then find out if I can get tickets to the Final 4. Is there a flight I can catch at the last minute at a good price to fly, spend a few days in Europe, go to the Final 4, see us win the 7th title, and fly back home, explain it to work, explain it to the family in terms of why I'm going for a few. Well, family understand it, right? They know the trailer is there. But explain it to my Australian work colleagues as to why I'm going to Europe for a few days only. The plan is already there, bubbling away in the mind, right? But I know there's a long way to go before we can get to that point.
Not only, it's going to be around the same time as the Cup final, the Final 4.
Is it?
Yeah. Might even overlap.
But obviously, there's no fans at the Cup final.
Exactly. They're all going to, as Sterg said, they got 3,500 for this regular season game in Munich. They're going to get probably over 5,000.
Tickets will be very, very hard to get. If we make the Final 4, we'll
often the best traveling fans so far.
And it wouldn't shock me if people go without a ticket just to soak up the atmosphere.
Yep.
They'll just fly over.
And if you look at then who's going to make the Final 4, I mean, it could be anyone, but the likely scenario is it'll be Real Madrid. Hopefully it's us. And then there's a toss-up between Monaco, Olympiacos, Barcelona.
You'd have to argue Barcelona would be there, and it would be the 4th spot would be between Monaco, Fenerbahce, Olympiacos.
I forgot about Fenerbahce, they're in a bit of form actually.
Yeah, they copped a shock loss, I think. But yeah, did they? Pretty sure they copped a shock loss, didn't they, on the last match though?
I think you're right. I got a bit of a mental blank, but I think there was a result that wasn't in their favour.
Yeah, they lost at home to FS.
Turkish derby.
Yeah, and FS were, with that win, FS give themselves a chance to make the play-in, courtesy of that result.
But in terms of us, we're probably, touch wood, at the healthiest we've been as a squad, probably since the start of the season. And the right players are finding form at the right time of the season as well. So timing wise, it's that momentum. And I think we've won the last 4-2, if I'm not mistaken, as well. We've obviously beaten Real and not Fenerbahce. Is it Bologna? Or Bologna has been out of sorts. It's the signs are promising.
Well, yeah. Well, the match probably of the round would be Olympiacos Fenerbahce.
Mm.
That they play this, in the final match day. If Fenerbahce wins, they overtake them to get that fifth spot. If Olympiacos wins, depends on other results, but I think the other teams have fairly easy matches. Olympiacos will probably hold on to fifth. I'm just checking Monaco. Monaco's got Bayern, which should be a Monaco win. Barcelona has Lyon, which should be an easy win. So if Olympiacos wins, they hold on to that fifth spot. If Fenerbahce win, Fenerbahce overtakes them and makes they'll probably likely play Barcelona in the next round. If whoever holds that third spot.
So
Wouldn't be ideal for them.
no, and it's that third through to sixth. No matter who you get, it's going to be very, very hard. And that's where I think that that second spot is worth its weight in gold.
Yeah,
And we've done very well, very, very well to get that.
yeah. It's yeah, you're right. The third between six is just absolutely brutal. First and second, bit of a gap there, like in terms of the quality, but we know Maccabi have been a bit of a thorn on our side. They've beaten us both times this season, so we can hopefully avenge that. We did beat Baskonia in Greece, but lost them away. That was a heartbreaking loss. Beat Bologna twice, and I think we beat FS twice. So, but FS is on that 4-game streak, while Bologna's they're skidding. They've got at least 5 losses in a row.
And I worry about Maccabi, and I do worry about even FS as well. But the home game advantage, and that's the benefit of the second spot. That's really what's going to give us the obvious advantage. But everyone knows that we've been so strong at home as well. And I can't remember the sort of stat how many games we've dropped at home this season. And it's just a handful. And
Yeah,
we did the poor start of the season as well.
there's only a few. Yeah, it looks like, I'm just looking up if they got in any new additions or anything, FS, to see what's contributing to their rise. Um, I can't notice like any noticeable new names, but they're there. I think their main threat is this Clyburn guy, Will Clyburn. He's been their threat or their goal scorer or their point scorer, I should say. So one to watch. One to watch.
Exciting times ahead, though, boys.
Yeah,
Did you see he was in Munich? Old mate, Yanakopoulos.
yeah.
He was on the street. Did you see him with the busker singing Mekritelus?
He's becoming a bit of a meme again.
Yeah, yeah.
The Vrisilia he dropped as well to the referee, like a Barzoka style Panaya Vrisidi. bit passionate, but he has unified the team. I think he's set an example to the team and for the fans. I think the fans are appreciating what he's done, especially this season, what he's built and what he's trying to do. I think he's also trying to build a better fan experience as well. And it's getting a lot of positives. You're getting commentators like Josh Bett, who's a commentator. We're hoping to have a chat with him soon as well. Just constantly tweeting about our fans. 3,500 away, just going wild in Germany. That's the example. And DPG put it in his story that the fans were the MVP. All right, boys. I think we can just conclude it shortly. Let's get our final words in. Anything you boys want to wrap it up with? Any final points?
Just one game at a time in the bala, and keep going and bring on the basketball. We're at the crescendo now, the climax. Bring it on. What a roller coaster.
I'll say I can't wait till our next podcast. There's going to be a lot to discuss, and we're going to be 2 weeks closer
Well,
to
yeah.
knowing what our destiny looks like in both on the football and the basket.
The picture is going to be a lot clearer, isn't it?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I think from the last podcast I said, I think we just got to be positive, like the results will come, and bulk, not the result we wanted, but Ike, this morning's result, the results falling in our favor, so just continue that, we just got to be that positive. And you're right, boys, one game at a time. Every game is a cup final. Every game is a final. So we can't take Lamia lightly, even though they should be the whipping boys. We just can't take that lightly. I don't think Terim's going to make the same mistake. He's just going to go all out. I think he's doing his best to just manage the minutes from some of the players. I don't expect heavy rotation from him either coming the next few games. I think only if required, we're probably going to see a lot more Varel in that defensive mid role. I think that's where he wants him. But with that, pleasure, gentlemen. It won't be too long until we next chat. I think in 2 weeks again. So after the many games coming up. So enjoy your sleeps.
Yeah.
Lamia this weekend. And then the next pod will be covered by our American friends. But pleasure, boys. Thank you.